Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Dead by Daylight video. Today we're going to be doing something different, and I apologize I didn't get this video out yesterday. I was trying to upload it to YouTube from my PS4. It took a while, and now it finally uploaded yesterday night, and I wasn't sure how I was going to pull this off, and now, of course, I do. So I apologize I didn't get it out yesterday. I'm still not very busy today. I just got a little bit of homework done, and that was about all I had to do. So I know I'm kind of ignoring what you guys did on your polls. Sometimes I'm not always going to follow along with it, but next video, I promise I will get out an Attack of the Mutant book review for you guys, so I won't put up a poll for the next video. But that's about all the announcements I have to make. My Unisonus lanyard finally came in, so in the next video, you guys will probably see me wearing it, which will be very exciting, especially in a book review. That's probably the best time to kind of do those sorts of things. So without further ado, let's start talking about what we're going to do in this video. And as you guys know, I've started maining Wraith, trying to get really good at Wraith, and I've succeeded. I'm getting really good at some of the tactics that you use on him that are very, very effective. And I want to do basically a game review on a game that I had a few days ago. And some of the parts of the video are kind of me just kind of memeing around because this group wasn't a very serious group. I'm going to assume that it was probably a Swift, because these people did a lot of similar stuff and stuff like that. But there were some moments in this video where you get to see some really good Wraith gameplay, things that you want to be doing as Wraith. So I wanted to give you some of the tips and tricks for playing Wraith that I use so that you guys can become a better Wraith player. And I know not all of you play Dead by Daylight on my channel, of course, but feel free to just have fun and stroll along watching this video. So let's kind of go through. Let's start out the video. So we appear on Dead Dog Saloon, and I actually put on a map offering for Dead Dog Saloon to get me to this map. And the reason why I did that is Dead Dog Saloon is generally a smaller map. And smaller maps are really good for Wraith because he doesn't have a lot of map pressure. So he does better on Dead Dog Saloon or Cold Tower, smaller maps like that. Not really things like Mother's Dwelling or Ormond, unless you have a Windstorm offering. And I believe I used, if you see in the add-ons down below, I believe I used Windstorm and Swift Hunt, which are two very, very great add-ons combined together. They're probably two of Wraith's best add-ons, and I definitely recommend them. Some other add-ons that I recommend using for Wraith are things like the Bone Clapper, or even some of his brown add-ons are actually not too bad if you don't have enough blood points to pay for some of these better add-ons. And to be honest, once you get really good at Wraith, you're not going to really need these purple high-end add-ons. All you're really going to need is a yellow Swift Hunt and a yellow Windstorm, and you're pretty much good to go once you become really good at Wraith. So I wanted to go over his add-ons there. Of course, he's going to be getting a small buff in the future with the mid-chapter update, which I'm very excited for, but it's not going to make a major difference in his gameplay. And then over on the right, in the bottom right corner, you can see the build that I'm using for Wraith. This is not really the best build for Wraith, but there is some synergy here. Nurse's Calling is a very great perk on Wraith. I recommend using it in almost all your matches. You're almost guaranteed going to get a sneak attack even after they know that it's a Wraith. Most survivors are going to be pretty clueless unless they have Spine Chill. So Nurse's Calling, great perk. Discordance. Now, of course, Wraith isn't really good at being able to pressure multiple survivors at once, but the fact that you can still see where multiple survivors are on a generator makes it very easy to sneak up and get a few hits in, which is what Wraith is good at. He's good at being able to sneak in a first hit, escape the chase, and down you eventually a little bit later. And then, so that's that synergy of perks. And then we, of course, have the Surge and Pop Goes the Weasel combo. Pop Goes the Weasel is very good on Wraith because he needs to stop gens from getting done since he doesn't have a lot of map pressure. And Surge is just a great combo with Pop Goes the Weasel so that you don't have to pop generators in your vicinity once you're done hooking somebody. So you can move across the map and find another generator to pop. So it's a great combo. Thrilling Tremors could work really good with it too, but then again, you'd probably be surrounding most of your build around those perks, which is not always something you want to do, but it's still a great build and fun build to do. Some other perks I would have suggested for this build, though, are probably Barbecue and Chili, Sloppy Butcher, Whispers, and Corrupt Intervention. Those are all good perks for Wraith. Sloppy Butcher because you can get that first hit in really easily and apply Mangled and Hemorrhage, so that's always a good thing. Corrupt Intervention because you want to slow down the generators. Whispers so that you can find survivors. And Barbecue and Chili also another information perk so that you can find survivors as well. I didn't really use the best build because I don't have all the perks on Wraith yet, and I don't really want to waste all my blood points on Wraith right now. I'm using them on different killers so that I can play other killers as well and not just Wraith, as much as I really love Wraith. But with all that being said, now that we talked about the add-ons and the perk build that I used, let's get on to the gameplay. Let's see what really happened. So the first few minutes are probably just going to be me trolling around because I can kind of remember what happened. So I go over to this generator where survivors usually spawn, and as you can see, they start teabagging. So that's very interesting. Oh my god. And they basically just surround me for a little bit, and I just kind of troll around a little bit, ringing my bell at them. I guess I'll just show you the full gameplay here, why not? So, that's kind of what happened for the first few minutes, and then I tell them to get on the generator because I was trying to be nice. And then I was kind of like, you know what? Let's grab one of the survivors off of a bell. So I actually end up hitting them. And then grabbing them. Finally, hooker. So yeah, the first few minutes are kind of just me trolling around. There isn't really much to learn. Obviously, this is very general stuff. Now, right there, you'll see that I faked cloaking. Now, this is a thing that a lot of Wraith mains will do, especially if they have the Bone Clapper add-on, where your bell can be heard map-wide, so they don't know if they're coming after you. Now, Wraiths will do this to try to confuse survivors if they're in a chase, but also so that they can alert survivors around. This is something that you want to do just every so often. Just ring your bell. It doesn't slow you down at all. Just do it, and you have a slight chance of confusing somebody in chase or outside of chase near you. This is especially good if you have the Bone Clapper. But even with just a regular bell, just occasionally ring your bell when you're going around the map. So yeah. I obviously grabbed her off the hook. That's something else to note is if you're ever close to a survivor by hook, and this isn't really a Wraith tip, instead of getting the hit, try to get the grab. If they're very clueless, they're probably going to think, oh, he's just going to hit me, get it over with. But if you're really, really close and you can get that grab, take advantage of it. So I obviously hook her. Now we're getting into more of the gameplay. Now I'm actually playing serious. So I was going to actually cloak there, but I just hit Fang, who has borrowed time. And I just eat her DS. This is something that you should do at the beginning of the game. But towards the end of the game, you can wait out DS. But if it's the beginning of the game and somebody's been hooked and you know for a fact, oh, if she has borrowed and she's that confident about unhooking, she probably has DS as well. Just eat it so you don't have to worry about Decisive Strike later. So obviously, as you can see, I don't even flinch. I know that she has DS and I let her just Decisive Strike me. You can see in the left corner it says Decisive Strike. So once again, Well, I actually accidentally cloaked there, not intending to. I was going to fake cloak, but then I grabbed her out of the generator. She has Decisive Strike as well. So I've already eaten 2 decisive strikes, which is really good. I know it's like, well, you know, I've been sitting for 10 seconds just looking down because of DS, but what else have these survivors really been doing? Even if this was a different situation and the survivors were playing very serious, in the beginning of the game, I've already wasted 10 seconds that I could be wasting towards the end of the game where I need map pressure. So it's always important, just eat that DS at the beginning of the game. Don't worry about it. It's only a 5-second stun. It's like getting pallet stunned. It's not going to affect your game that much, at least this early. But later on, it's going to matter, and that's why you want to get it out of the way right away. So I just grab her off again. She can't have DS again, and she's already been hooked twice. A big mistake by her, but it's probably because she thought I was fooling around. I pretend to cloak there. I kicked the generator with pop, so now it's back to 0%. I did a little mind game there, and I know a lot of killers like to do that mind game on walls, and I'm kind of do the same thing a lot too. Some survivors are going to greed vault it, and some survivors, once you get to know them, they're not going to vault it, and they just know that you're mind gaming if they don't see you come around the corner. So the best thing to do is probably just to chase them down. Don't really waste your time trying to mind game. You're just going to waste more time. A better idea here for me would probably have been, if I couldn't have gotten the hit soon enough, I probably would have faked going away and then came back at a different angle and possibly gotten the hit, which you'll see how that works later on in the game. But anyway, she didn't really play this tile very well. She dropped the tile early at 5 gems, a god tile. So I actually cloak here. I dip that chase and go back to the hook because I felt like somebody was going to go for the unhook, and of course the Fang actually does go for the unhook. And I wait around trying to get the grab. And I actually hit the Fang. It looked like I hit the other Fang, but I actually hit the Fang off the hook, which I thought I didn't originally, but I actually did, and I get the down. And I'm kind of confused here. I didn't know that was going to happen, so I get the hook. Do I actually cloak here? Yes, I do. Okay. I think I'm going back to the generator up top. I kicked this breakable wall out. Yeah, some breakable walls are you want to kick out, especially on that loop. Definitely kick it out. It'll make the loop a lot easier, even without the pallet. So yeah, just nope on that. It only really applies to Dead Dog Saloon, but so I start uncloaking around the corner, and that's why Swift Hunt is so helpful. You can start your cloak around the corner, move up, and it's too late by the time that they see you zooming into them. And just kind of make sure that before you instantly hit them like you are a spirit or something, make sure you kind of wait for a dead hard or a potential juke. Survivors will tend to try to do that, especially if you're coming out of cloak. She didn't really do that, so I didn't have to look after that. I slugged her, and I go back to the hook so I can apply some more pressure, even though we're still at 5 gems. There's some Nurse's Calling value right there. So I'm kind of waiting for a moment where she's kind of stuck so I can easily catch up to her. I mind game. She greed vaults it. A lot of survivors like to do that, even at red ranks. Of course, rank ranks that happened not too long ago. So, knowing that she was an Elodie, I knew that she probably had deception, so I didn't check the locker right away. Know your characters and know what perks they may be holding so that you don't fall for tricks like this. And she goes into the locker mistakenly, and I kind of fool around with her a little bit. She's like, you outplayed me, and then I just finally downed her. So far, I think I've hooked everybody at this point. And I see the sporting spot, so I float, and I head over into that direction. And at this moment, I actually remember me thinking, oh, they're probably in comms, so they know that I'm coming my direction, but they know they can just finish that gen anyway. So they finished the gen, but that's okay. I've gotten so many hooks in the early game, and they've only got 1 gen done. So she goes for the save, and I believe she's going to try to unhook her without getting down. I finally just decide to hit her, and down her. knowing that I probably would have gotten her down anyway. I just took her, and I'm pretty sure she's dead now. Yeah, she is dead. No decisive threat, no nothing. All for fooling around. I see discordance again, so I go back up. I know this gen probably isn't too pronounced. Oh, actually. I take my... Okay, here's another thing to learn here as well. When you're a Wraith and you're approaching a generator that is almost done, but not like 95%, don't think that you have to uncloak all the way, hit the survivor, and go back to the gen, even though it's always important to get the hit first. But this gen was almost done. I had Pop Goes the Weasel, so it wasn't a bad idea to kick this generator. So what I did was I pretended like I was going to uncloak to scare her away, and then I just kicked the generator. So just note, you don't have to uncloak all the way, you know, scare her away, and then kick the generator. It's kind of just a waste of time. So just pretend to uncloak like halfway, and then kick the generator, that's what and then I eventually catch up to another Fang that was on the gen. I uncloak right here. Now, she had a Volt, so I just quickly head to the breakable wall and take it out. That is another breakable wall that you want to take out, especially on this map. Okay. This is one of the things that is so vital for playing Wraith effectively, and you'll see what happens here. I basically broke that breakable wall, or, oh my god, I'm getting so confused with my words here, but, so, obviously I broke that breakable wall, and I cloaked back up. And notice that I didn't directly head after her after I cloaked. I know it sounds like maybe you'll be able to catch up, but eventually she probably would have found a vault location like over on the right side of my screen by that generator, and I might have been lucky and got a hit, but I for sure was going to hit by predicting her pathing here. So what I do is I cloak, I vault the window, and I actually go around to that doorway because I knew that she was going up those stairs at the glimpse of my eye. And this is something so important for playing Wraith well, is predicting survivors' pathing. Whether or not you have 1 hit or 0 hits on a survivor, if you're in a bad position in chase and you don't want to have to loop, instead of committing to the chase, cloak, pretend like you're going to leave, and then actually what you're doing is coming at a different angle, cutting them off, and sometimes you'll get lucky, you'll be able to body block them, or sometimes you'll be able to cloak behind their back at a really good position and get a free hit or a free down if they're already injured. So you'll see what happens here. I go around, predicting her pathing. Now, I initially thought she was going to come to the right instead of drop down, but even then, I still get the hit. As you can see, I simply uncloak. Not a lot of mind games you can really do on that semi-safe pallet loop. Right here is a great example of cutting off survivors coming at a different angle. She went around the building, but instead I went inside the building as I saw her approach that loop, and I body blocked her at the pallet, and I believe I great strategy for Wraith, body block at pallets if you get lucky when cutting them off. That was a great I mean, she's outdoors. So sometimes if you know that they're going to a strong loop, even if it's you know, in a open area and you can't really hide or cut them off, just kind of cloak, get behind their back. You're a little bit faster than them, and you should be able to get it down here. Well, I didn't actually commit to that Fang chase. I went back. again. I see her vault the window, and I immediately go to that doorway, and this is the example that I told you. It didn't work perfectly last time, but watch how it works this time. She's in here. I body block her. She goes inside, and this is either way, I would have gotten it. And it looks like that LED they didn't do too well in the early games, so I'm still pretty much trapped in the room. That situation comes in again. I have Pop Goes the Weasel, a survivor is working on the gen, I uncloak halfway, just commit to kicking the gen and get the hit later on. Melody played it dumb, but I didn't uncloak. I think the reason why I didn't uncloak and hit her was because I wanted the Elodie to survive, so I just committed to the game. And sometimes we like to have fun, we don't quite completely seriously. Now, normally survivors manage to play this very well. I kind of just messed around a little bit and rang my bell as if I was going to cloak and zoom on her out of cloak, but I actually was just mind gaming her and she... There, I tapped my cloak just a little bit, and the reason why I did that is I saw earlier she was juking me, and this is another strategy you can do on Wraith, is if you know that a survivor likes juking or a survivor has dead hard, what you can do is instead of tapping your cloak halfway like I did throughout the match a lot, that was for just kind of scaring survivors who are nearby. This one is for survivors who juke or use dead hard, and basically you just barely tap your cloak. And the special thing about this is the cloak animation for a split second looks like you are going to swing. So survivors will think, oh, it's a good time to juke, it's a good time to use dead hard. But really, all you're doing is baiting the dead hard or the juke and getting the hit. So I did this several times until she got into a good position and I downed her. Once again, a very great tactic to use on Wraith. I believe I was fixing the headset. That's why I paused for a second. I hooked the thing. And with my map awareness, I caught a glimpse of the Elodie. So I started heading that direction. Did I? No, I didn't catch a glimpse of her. Why was I thinking of that? She completed a generator across the map, which I don't know why she did that. She kind of got greedy there. And I believe I eventually find her. Yeah, she deceptions the locker, but I know that it was deception. So I look around for scratch marks, and I find blood eventually. And we get the down here. Yep. Once again, tapping the bell, waiting for a juke. She gets in the right position, and I down her. And then I see the hatch up ahead, so I just decide to give her hatch as a wholesome moment. As you can see here, I slowly look at the fang as I go back to the Elodie. And I tell her, no, Elodie gets hatched, since she played the best, actually. She kind of carried the team with generator progress. Look at this wholesome moment. Very wholesome Dead by Daylight. The fangs just died. I gotta feel bad. I'm pretty sure it was a swift one, so. And then I just mess around with her at this moment. And there goes the hatch, and she escapes. And I got a Ruthless. I'm surprised I didn't get Merciless or something. But then I checked for the perks. Despite the fact that they were, as you can see, running some pretty annoying perks, DS Unbreakable. There was 1 DS Unbreakable, 3 DSs in total, 2 Dead Hards, so I actually did pretty good at baiting some Dead Hards. As you can see, the Elodie had a Deception, Dance With Me, Urban Evasion, so kind of a stealthy build. She also had a brand new part. I never noticed that, but that was the build that they were running. So, yeah, I hope that gave you some good tips on becoming a really effective Wraith player. And even if you're on stronger maps, which you're going to get on stronger maps like Ormond and Mother's Dwelling, that's why it's important to run better perks. I think was I running Windstorm this match? Yes, I was running Windstorm. So Windstorm wasn't really too important on Dead Dog Saloon. The only times where it was important was when I was trying to get upstairs into the main building. But when you get those stronger maps like Ormond, Mother's Dwelling, it's going to be really important to have those good add-ons and get around the map. And it's so satisfying when you play these weaker killers and you manage to do really well against strong groups. And I'm not saying that this was a strong group, because I don't think it was a strong group at all. I think they were in comms, and they did get some gens done. Their looping was decent, but it wasn't effective enough to waste my time long enough. And that might have just had to do with the fact that I knew how to end chases quickly as Wraith. But once you go against those stronger teams, it's gonna be vital to have stronger add-ons. But I'm not saying that you always have to have really strong add-ons. Good Wraith players like me, all we have to use is just basic yellow add-ons, or even brown add-ons. I've done that before. I played on Haddonfield one time. Survivors weren't the best, but I managed to get a 4K with a brown, I believe it's called the Hound add-on, which allows you to see blood trails easier, which is actually kind of nice. I actually kind of like it as an add-on instead of having to use Bloodhound to waste a perk slot. And then I believe I used like Windstorm or something. So it just shows that with these good tactics, you can play Wraith effectively. And realistically, I think this just goes to show that even weaker killers can play really effectively if you know how to capitalize on their strengths with their power. And I think this gives you a great example here. And I wanted to do this as a video. I was very excited to do this and show you guys. So I promise in my next video, I will do a book review. I know you guys you must really like book reviews. I'm not a big fan of them, but I'll do Attack of the Mutant for you guys. One of my favorite books, actually, so I'll be excited for that, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you next time.